Hey guys, welcome to a quick lesson. Today I'm going to teach you how to use Logic from scratch, okay? So if you have Logic, you're going to have an icon that looks something like what I have at the bottom here. That's just Logic Pro X. Of course, I'm not using the updated version of Logic as I use external VST, so mine is going to look a bit different from the updated ones, but as long as you have Logic Pro, you should have the same program, okay? If you're using the latest update, you will have something that will be a bit different. You know, as you guys can see, with mine, it's 10.0, 10.0.6. I'm sure Logic is way up to date now compared to mine, but I don't really need the updates. All right, because I use more of external VSTs and third-party plugins. All right, so let's get started. So when you first open Logic, you're gonna have something that looks something similar to what I have on my screen. Obviously, from the template, it's gonna look a bit different. You know, most of you guys might have something that looks something similar to this right here. Don't close this. So you're gonna have something that looks similar to what I have right here, and obviously you can choose to use some preset projects or whatever. I always just do from empty, and you can obviously set these things up. So here, of course, you know, tempo is how fast you want the song to be. Okay, key, whatever key you want to record in. Okay, the time measure 4/4 is always good. You don't really need to change it unless if you're doing some special kind of music and you have to. Audio input. Okay, that is your microphone. Okay, whatever microphone you want to sing through, you want to make sure you select that. Most times you're gonna have it as system settings. Okay, so you might need to adjust it to your preferences, okay, or to whatever you prefer to use. All right, audio output. How do you want to hear it? You want to hear it through your headphones? Do you want to hear it through the system? The built-in output. Most times it might be here or it might be at system settings. Just like right here too, it might be a built-in input or system settings. So you might need to adjust that. Right now I'm using the Personas Fire Studio, so that's why I have that selected. Okay, obviously you want to use the sample rate of your mixer. Okay, some mixers might be at 48, mine is at 44, so I just leave it right there. Okay, you might need to use a faster one, and of course if you want to set this, that's great. I don't mess with that stuff. Okay, so that's how you set up a project. Most of you guys will have a screen that looks similar to this. Okay, but say you come into the project, you're gonna have something like that, like what I'm looking at. And even if you don't, and it looks like this, okay, even if you don't, and it looks like this, you just gotta click inside of it, okay? And then obviously, you're gonna have something that looks like that. An audio, okay? You click on it, all right? And then if you wanna record an audio, you're gonna select your input and do all that stuff. Let's go through all these, okay? So first thing, we have our software instrument, okay? That is basically instruments in the program that you want to use. Keyboard, piano, bass, all those kind of cool stuff, okay? Drums, all that stuff. You can select all that in here. Now, you don't need to always click on this, but sometimes you might have to, especially with my computer, because some third party plugins, for whatever reason, don't have a router right. So you just have to click this for some of the software instruments to work. If you ever experiencing a situation where you are trying to play something but the sound is not coming, just delete that track, create a new one, and just make sure you click this, okay? And then go select it again, and it should come back working. Okay, so that is the software side of things. You have a library here, in here, and then this is the inspector. But if I was to select a software instrument, of course, I'm gonna have a library here, okay, and then I can select my drums, whatever it is. Let's say guitar. This is how a clean guitar is like, okay, and then you're gonna hear something, like that. Okay, I don't know if you guys can hear it right now, but you should be able to hear something. Uh, let me see. Okay, see exactly. So you realize that my clean guitar is not coming, right? So that's what I was talking about. So sometimes you might need to select that so that it can come, because for whatever reason, it acts like that on my computer. So, all right. So sometimes you might need to do that for it to come. Okay. Anyways, whatever be the case, you just make sure you select that. Just make sure you select whatever you want. You want to use let's see, let's use one of the basses. Okay, so that's what all software instrument is, piano, you know. So okay, so that's all software instrument is, okay, guys, and it's very easy. Okay, so let's delete that and come back here. So we finished with software instrument. Let's go to audio. Audio is basically how you want to sing, you know. So maybe you done with your instruments, you want to start recording. Okay, so obviously most of your sound will have the input based on what what defaulted audio you have selected here. So for instance, if you have the built-in selected, I'll come back here and explain all this stuff so you guys don't worry. If you have the built-in, input right here, if you have the built-in input selected, okay, you're not gonna see what I see here. Okay, you see all these options. You're not gonna have that. You're gonna have maybe two or maybe one, depending on how your program reads it. So you might have that, and you basically just gotta just create it. Okay, so that's why you have to make sure you always have your project settings prepared prior to you, getting deep into your project. If you don't have your project set up correct, you're always going to run into problems like these. Okay, so as so assuming that I wanted to record from input two, which I'm talking through, I'll just come here and click input two. Let's just leave it at input three right now. Okay, and output one and two is fine because that's how I'm listening to mine. If you have your output set to something else, just come and check it, and it will go there. Okay, mine is set to one and two, so that's fine. Okay, so this is how it looks like. See, I'm talking, you guys can't hear me, right? All right, you guys realize you can't really hear me because I'm talking through three. Now, the reason why you guys can hear a little bit of something peaking, okay, is because I have my phantom power on three. Okay, so you realize that I'm talking. You really can't see peaking big, right? Okay, so now let's select it to two and watch the difference. You're gonna see it peaking big. You see the difference is actually peaking. It's actually picking my voice right here in the green bar. Okay, so the way this works is if you don't have the right input. So let's just do the wrong input for a second. Okay, so say it was defaulted to built-in output and input, which most of your programs will by default will be like that. Okay, so if it was selected to that, realize it's now one and two. All these are gone. That's what I was talking about. So if I want to record from the microphone of my regular computer, you see now it's picking my computer sound right here. Okay, so now my computer sound is what is picking up, not my microphone. Okay, so you want to make sure that your project setup is always good. Okay, so that's what we did in the beginning. By the way, if you forgot to do that and you came into the project, this is how you do your audio settings. So let's go to first Logic Pro X preferences, and then we're going to go to audio. Okay, so when we come to audio, okay, we'll go to general. Actually, let's start from general. Okay, and let's talk about general. So general is basically your general project. So yeah, not much to do there. Okay, let's go to audio. Audio, of course, your output device. I've already talked about that. So let's put ours the personas. Okay, and our built-in. You could always do two different ones, just so you know. Okay, you don't always have to do the same thing. Okay, but of course you want to have it through the same thing so you can monitor out whatever you're doing. Okay, but if you're doing mixing and you need to monitor it out through another speaker or another monitor, that's great. You can always do that. Okay, so these are the two things you could, I have mine selected. Buffer size is all per computer device. So you might sometimes have yours as low or that. I just leave mine at 256. I don't want to go too high. Puts a lot of work on my computer. My computer don't have much strength. Recording delay. Some people may just add a few. I just keep it at 0. I don't want to mess with that. I leave all these by default, and I leave all these by default. I don't mess with it. Okay. So of course, general, I don't mess with any of these either. Okay. Assignments, I don't mess with any of these either. Okay, audio file editor, I don't mess with any of these either. Okay, MP3, I don't mess with any of these either. Okay, so guys, that is the audio side of things. Let's go to MIDI. Okay, now with MIDI, sometimes you need to click reset all MIDI drivers so that everything can kick in. That's all you got to do here, just in case some mapping is not you know, you know, communicating right, that kind of stuff. Okay, so you realize I didn't talk about any of these, right? Because I don't mess with any of those. Okay, unless if of course you are using, some hardware devices, and you might need to mess with some of these. But I don't use a lot of hardware aside from my mixer and my MIDI interface. Okay, so display. Okay, not I don't mess with this as much. Okay, so scoring. Okay, if you deal with scoring towards movie scoring, or clips, or whatever the case is, this is where you'd come to do your setting. And so the scoring and movie goes hand in hand. Okay, automation. I don't mess with that much either. You could always adjust it whenever you're doing automations in your actual editing. Okay, of course, control surfaces. All right, I don't mess with it either. There's other ways to get a get around control surfaces based on what you need to do, especially on the mixing end of things. Of course, here you could always come to my info, and let's say you are whatever studio, put your studio there in there, and then whenever you're working on an artist project, you could always put the artist name in there. I don't mess with any of these because it doesn't really matter. But if you want to be very professional and have everything syncing, of course you come in here and put whatever song you are working on's name, the artist name, and then of course your studio name, or however you want to put it. Okay, and put those information in. So always your project files will have the correct information for future reference. Here, sometimes all I do is I deselect all of it and I select all of it just to get things clicking. Sometimes you might have something going wrong, so just come here, deselect it all, and then select it all, so that way it can start kicking. It will buffer a little bit, and then it'll be back up to speed. Okay, so that's everything you need to know about basically your project setup, as far as these things we've gone through right here. Okay, of course I talked about control surfaces, right? I'm not really gonna talk much about that, but let's see. I think I want to bring this up for you guys. Let me see if I could explain that for you guys. Let's see. All right. So, anyways, it's not much important. Like I said, these are the basic things you need to know. Yeah, those are the basic things you need to know. You don't need to worry much about all the extras and additionals. Okay. So, of course, when you're creating a track, okay, you want to come to track and then create new track. If you click create new track, this is what's going to happen. It's going to bring all this up, okay? If you don't, and you click create audio track, it's just going to automatically create an audio track straight up, okay? So you want to be careful whenever you're creating a track to understand. And then, of course, software instrument, same deal, okay? With the software, your library comes up, you pick whatever sound you want to use. If it's this, you click on it, and then it will come up, okay? So that is kind of how you create tracks, of course. And of course, if you're using the same instrument over and over, you could always click this right here, and it will use the same settings, okay? So say I wanted to do audio 1, and I wanted to use the same settings on here. I just click this, and it will use the exact same settings, okay? The way you can tell is this. If I was to add, let's say, a dynamic compressor on here, let's just say, okay, so now this channel 1 has a compressor on it, okay, but so when I create a new channel like that, an audio, realize that it doesn't have any compressor on it, right? So if I wanted to maintain what I was doing, maybe I'm working fast, I needed to maintain things I'm doing, I would click this right here, okay, and of course it's going to keep the same settings on it, okay? So that's all that is. You don't have to worry much about it. Now, some of you guys want to look beautiful in your project, okay? Sometimes you might need to click on this right here, okay? And of course, you might need to arrange your music. So first off, you can start with your intro, of course, and then you can name this intro. Maybe your intro will go up to whatever amount of bar. You do all your recordings, make sure you do everything. Then when you are ready to move on, you add another one, and then you can call that your verse 1 or whatever. You can rename it, call that your chorus, and so on, okay? You guys get the idea, okay, and so on. All right, so that's kind of the way you go about with arranging it. And of course, if you want to color it, I'll show you guys as we go more deeper into it, okay? So this is just the basic fundamentals of Logic for those of you guys that want to understand. Okay, some of you guys might not be great players. You might need to use loops. How do you get to your loops? Okay, you guys see this side right here. Okay, you guys have 4 bottoms. Okay, so you have this right here. I can guarantee you, you're not going to be in this as much, so you don't need to worry about anything in here. Okay, but you may need to for whatever other reasons. Okay, so you never know where you run into. You might need to come there, but right here, it's where you're going to spend most of your time. Right here, obviously here, not much going on. Right here, you're going to spend a lot of time here if you are somebody who likes using loops. Okay, because you see that icon that looks like a loop or a circle thing. Okay, these are all your loops. Okay, so if you come here and you want to use a piano loop, guess what? You click on it, it's going to play. Okay, if you wanted to use your drum loops, okay, you can go to all drums, see. Okay, and the way it works is if you want to use it, you can double click it, sure, and it will get into it. Okay. Sorry, if you can double click to play it, and then you can drag it into the project. Okay, and then it will come inside it. Now realize this. Now let me explain this notes. It says the added audio file contains tempo information. That means this audio that I'm bringing in contains tempo information. So its tempo is at 125. But guess what? My project, I haven't talked about tempo yet, okay? So you guys will not understand what I'm saying here, but I'll talk about it later, okay? So say my project is set to 90, okay? And I'm bringing in a 125. It's telling me it's bringing in a new tempo. So it's saying, should I import with a tempo? So if I click import with a tempo, what's gonna happen is if this was a 90, the whole project is gonna change to 125 speed. Okay, if I don't want it to affect my project, then I gotta click on import. So import a file, but it will not import the audio. Then I'll have to manually, work with it and try and get it up to speed or whatever I gotta do, okay? So that's how that works. So the way you can see your tempo is when you come right here to your project, okay? You realize that this part says 120, okay? That's your tempo. Okay, when you click on it, okay, you can change it, okay? So it's at 120, so you might need to click it to 110. All right, so right now I'm just typing the numbers. 90, double click it, type 80, and sometimes you can click on it and just move up and down. You see that? Click on it and just move up and down, okay? Of course, nobody's gonna record at that, BPM, but let's keep it at 120 for right now, so we can just talk about what we're trying to get across, okay? So these are all your loops, okay? When you come in here, great stuff are in here, okay? If you want radio effects, okay? When you come in here, trust me, you find some cool stuff, okay? Just type in radio, and you're gonna find some cool stuff. Okay, so that's kind of how it works, okay? You guys get the idea. Now, here, as you are recording, you're gonna have all your audios coming in here. The more audios you record, it's all gonna start coming up in here. Okay? So what's gonna end up happening is as you record, you might need to come in here and grab something you lost. So say you lost an audio, okay, in here, this will be your last hope. You come in here, all the deleted audios, every audio dealing with this project is gonna be in here. Okay, you come here to manage it. If you get it out of here and you get it out of here, trust me, you're gonna basically lose it for forever. So make sure you understand this section, okay? So I guess enough talking. You guys got the basic fundamentals of Logic now, right? As far as project setup, okay? You open it up, you make sure, from the template, okay? You open it up, don't close. Okay, you open it up, you make sure you have your you make sure you have your tempo set. If you want it at, say you want it at 75, you gotta have 75 set up. If you want it at key C or G or whatever, have that set up. Okay, I usually don't set it up in here, I just do it in the project, but let's just say if you wanted to do it in here, that's what you do. Okay, all right. So for me, I'm gonna come to preferences, and I'm gonna go to audio. Okay, and then right in here, okay, I gotta make sure that I have all my buttons all ready to go. Okay, So now in my project, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come to the tempo and I'm going to type 75 and let me hear how 75 sounds like. So what I did, I clicked R. R. The bottom R is to record. So I just clicked R. Okay. So I clicked it and you realize that it's giving me a head count. Okay. So when you come to record, it says count in. If you have it set to 1, it's going to do go, 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 and then the recording is going to start. If you want to do 2, it's going to go go, 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 go. Okay, it's going to go twice. Okay, then the recording is going to start. If you want a 3, it all depends on why you need to have it like that. You might need it to get time to really get a head start. Some headroom of the lyrics before what you got to do. So you got to set it base. If you don't want it, straight recording. Click it, it's just going to start recording. Straightforward. You got it? So if you want to just have the count in, it's great. So just leave it at 1. I usually use 1 or 2. So you just use either one. Okay. So I just use 1 or 2. Sometimes I need to work fast, so I just use 1. Okay. But definitely you need it. You don't want to just let it go. Now, if you don't like the tone, okay, you come to metronome settings and then you just change the tonality. Okay. I'm not going to mess with it. But if you bring it lower, it's going to sound deeper. It's going to sound like something like, okay. If you let it go higher, it's going to sound like, it's going to sound higher, okay? Lower means lower tonality. Higher means a higher pitch, okay? It's going to sound very, higher tonality, okay? So that's kind of how that works, okay? Let me explain these while I'm here, okay? Click while recording, okay? So if you do while recording, all it's going to do is it's going to do go, 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 and while you're recording, it's going to continue recording. If you click only doing counting, it's just going to do go, 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 and the recording is going to start, and it's not going to be, the metronome is basically going to stop while you're recording. Now, if you do click while playing, what is going to happen is while you're doing your playback, it's actually going to be clicking. The metronome is going to be on while you're playing back. So if you don't want it, this is where you would come to, take it off and all that stuff, okay? So basically, record, metronome settings, and basically change it all here. Now, while I'm here, let's go to recording settings. Recording settings is very important, okay? So say I'm recording an audio, okay? And say, it doesn't even matter, I'm recording anything, okay? And say I wanted to record, okay, let me give you an example, okay? So say right now it's set to join when cycling, okay? So this is what join when cycling means, okay? So say I have a track selected for a software instrument, okay? And say I have a piano selected, okay? Okay, so say I recorded one thing and I did something like this, okay? Something like, okay, say I did something like that, okay? Alright? So say I did something like that, okay? And I wanted to record over that. So what I did here is I came into the editor, I double clicked, came into the editor, editor tool, I guess, space, and then I click Command A or however you highlight your stuff. Just select all, right click, select all, however you want to do it, doesn't matter. So, and I click Q, because Q is right here, quantize, okay? And it quantizes to whatever I have it selected. I normally use 116, unless I'm doing some special kind of music where I need to swing it, like a reggae song, then I'll swing it or whatever the case may be. But for this purposes, we're going to keep everything simple. So say I did this, right? Say I did this right here. So say I was like, man, the original song had something in there that I wanted to add, right? So traditionally, what most people will do is they will create another track like this. That is Command D. That's how I did that. Alright, so this thing right here, that says duplicate settings. It means Command D, okay? You do Command D is going to do the same thing I taught you in the beginning. So this right here, so say I wanted to play something like that, okay? Most people will just create another track. I'm going to tell you the benefits and all that stuff. So here. Okay, so you realize what I just did? I just played some singles, right? I quantized it. So here's the deal, okay? So some people might do it like this. What will eventually happen is your project is going to be packed eventually. So then you're going to start having it, the systems being slow, processing, processing being, very pretty bad, that kind of stuff. So these are things you got to consider when you are dealing with this. Okay. So as it stands right now, I created an extra track, right, and it looks like this. So say I don't really want to do that, right? Maybe I'm like, man, I need to save some room. So guess what? If I came and I was like, oh, let me just record over it, right? So guess what will happen? So let me record over it. What was going to happen? So you guys realize what happened? So you guys realize what happened? It joined, all right, but guess what happened? It erased the old information. You get it? So let me click Command Z to backtrack and bring this back up. So that is why this is very important. Recording settings. So you would come to join when cycling into join with selected regions. Just click that. Okay. Now once you click that, what's the difference? So before you can record over, make sure you select this. I'm not gonna select it, and watch what's gonna happen. Watch what's gonna happen. So what? So when you're doing a lot of project, what will sometimes end up happening is it will sometimes basically break it into two. Okay, it will break it into two. I just want you to have that understanding. Okay, so always just make sure you select it. Okay, with the new setting that we just did, just select it. Okay, you're on a better side. Just select it. And what's the difference? You realize it kept all the information. Okay, so now you have two tracks in one. Of course, if you want your music to be clean, then you're gonna have to do some editing in here to clean up some extra things to make it sound cleaner. Of course, right? Okay, so that is kind of the basics of why it's important to understand what a metronome setting is, excuse me, and then a recording setting is. Okay. All right, and I guess you could just do it from your MIDI right here without going there. Okay, so you could do it from there if you wanted to. I just basically just do it in project settings. But again, if you want to do it there, that's great. It's all the same. All right, so I think that is about, yeah, that is everything you guys need to really understand. Okay. Yeah, that is everything you guys really need to grab and just understand. Okay. So, um, so you see all these are shortcuts. It's telling you how you bring certain things up. It says X if you want to see your mixer. If you click it, this is what's going to happen. It's going to bring it. If you go back there and you click off it, it's going to hide it. If you click it with your keyboard, it comes up. If you click it, it goes away. All right, so what else? Let's do one more. It says show smart consoles. Okay, so let's see what smart consoles is, which is basically your effects. Okay, all right, so you click B, it shows your smart consoles. Okay, you click B, it goes away. All right, every instrument is gonna have its own. Okay, so let's do an example. Okay, so a software instrument of a piano, all right, is gonna have its own. So look at how it's gonna look like. Bam, it looks like that, right? Okay. And of course, it has an EQ section if you want to mess with that. I don't mess with that on site. Okay. So say you wanted a clav. Okay, you click on it, it's gonna have its own. Okay. So every instrument will have its own specific things you got to deal with. So basically, it's effects, fine tuning, however you want to call it. Okay. All right. So that's kind of how that side works. Okay. So we've got some basics about how to set up your project and that kind of stuff. Okay. So now let's try and do a project and try and teach you a few things in the project. So here, so say I have a song that I want to work on. Let's see the tempo. Okay, so 75 is fine. We're gonna deal with 75. That's okay. Okay. So remember, we bring our project. We want to use a software for what we're about to do. Okay. So we're just gonna use a software. Okay. So let's say I want to start with some drumming. Okay. So with me, I use external VSTs. So I'm gonna bring up my battery. All right, and of course, in battery, you gotta understand what a multi output recording would be set up as, and a stereo output recording would be set up as. So you gotta understand all those things. I can't really spend the whole time to give you all those lessons, but these are some of the basics you need to understand. Okay, so I'm gonna use my battery to bring these things up. Again, you don't have to use battery. You can just go in there and just simply pick a drum machine and do it. So you don't really need to understand everything I'm doing in here. Just connect, relate certain things you do with what I'm doing, and you should be fine. Okay. So all right. So my battery's up. Okay. So let me bring up one of my kits. Let's do R&B kits. Okay. All right. So I have my R&B kits loaded up. Okay. So that's how this is gonna work. Okay, so let's say I want to do a project and I want to set it in. I want to do it in key. Let's pick a key. Come on, let's do key D. Let's say D. Okay, so I gotta come to. So you guys see all these because my hands are on my keyboard. Okay, that's why you see that. But if my hands are not on it, you should see this. All right, so say I want D, so I gotta come to D major. Okay, you gotta understand how to pick out your keys. You have to understand what these are. Okay, so here D major. Okay, sometimes you can, actually all the time you can bypass without picking a key. But if you really want to have peace and enjoy your project, especially if you're dealing with a serious project, please select your key. Okay, so key selected, tempo is selected. Okay, everything is good to go. You see it on 1 because it's on 1. If I move it, it's gonna change. You see how that works? So it's on the first measure. The more I go for it, it's gonna change. Okay, so basically that's what those numbers represent. Okay, so we good, right? So let's just say we have a project here. Okay, and we want to get some basics down. Okay, so say we have our drum instruments here. We have our battery up, so let's bring it up so we can kind of see what all is in there. Okay, so we see this in here. We have this. We have a B. And we have this. And we have this. And then we have this. And we have a clap. And then we have a clap. Where's the clap? Okay. I'm just rearranging it so I can do something very fast. So I'm just basically mapping my okay, so you guys see what I'm trying to do? That's why I'm mapping it, so that way I can play easily without having to do multiple instruments. Okay, so say I wanted to record something like that in there, so I'm going to record. Okay, it's a bit slow for my taste, so I'm going to just take it to 90. 110 seems a bit too slow. Okay, so you guys see that? All right, so okay, say you can't do all that in one. Okay, then this is how you're gonna do yours. Okay, say you can't do all that in one. I'm gonna mute what I did at first. Say you can't do all that in one. Okay, you wanted to do it one by one. So you're gonna start with maybe this. Okay, so this is how you do it. You record the shaker first. Okay, that is assuming that's how you want the shaker to be. Of course, that's not how I want it to be, but I want to give you the feel for it. Okay. Of course, you can add in your notes in here. You know, you pick a pencil too and add some notes. Of course, if you want to do that. That is if you have an instrument with sounds on it, then you can do all that stuff. Okay. So I have this shaker. Okay. So say I wanted a clap, so I'm going to now do the clap. Remember, select it, right? So you guys see what I did? Okay, I added the clap in there very easily. I added the clap in there very easily. So now I'm going to do my kick. Say I wanted my kick on the same track, okay? Then it's going to be like this. So you guys realize I'm accomplishing the same thing with two different processes, right? So you guys realize when you do it one, if you do it in singles, you get to really be creative. You know, you can come in here, edit your stuff. So now we accomplish the same thing. First things first, we play it all in one. Let's see how all in one sounds like. So this is all in one, all in one. Okay, that is all in one, right? So now let's hear the, you know, separates or singles, however you want to call it. Okay, so say we like that, we're just going to use that. Let's just say we like that, right? Sure. So we do that. How do we loop? Okay, so when you come to whatever you did, just make sure you click the end of it and you're going to see something that looks like this. This is different. If you do this, you're just going to have a lot of room, so don't do that. So make sure you see this thing that looks like a loop, okay? Kind of like the loops icon here, okay? So you do that, and then you loop it out, okay? And then you loop it out for however long you need it to be. Say you need it for 30 hours, then loop it out for 30 hours. How do you know it's 30 hours? Click here, click time. It's going to show you the time. And as you go, 17 seconds, 1 minute, 30 seconds, and keep going to 30 minutes if that's what you want. Go for it. All right? That's not what I want, of course, so I'm not going to mess with that. All right, so I have something like this, okay? Say I have some drums down, right? So say I like that. Say I want to do, something very simple. So let's say we wanted to add a piano, okay? So then I got to come to the piano and say I wanted to add something from the Legacy library, Legacy Logic. Guys, you guys got to kind of mess with this to get to your places. Okay, so I'm not really going to spend time explaining these. You guys should kind of have the basics of this. See, I wanted a pop piano, okay? So remember, we're doing in the key of what? D. So say I'm somebody who really don't know how to play my keys. Maybe I only know the key of C, which that is the case for me. Then what I'll do is I'll come to MIDI effects, go to transposer, and change this to +2, because I want to play in C, and C, D is 1, 2 half steps, 2 half steps from C, or a whole step from C. Okay, however you want to call it. Okay, so you see the root of C. If you want to do it differently, then you can do it differently. But I'm playing in C, so I'm fine. Okay, if you want to change your root to F and transpose like that, that's cool. But I'm playing in C, so I have to. I just basically leave it like that. Okay, you don't really need to mess with anything else. Just basically, just move it up and down, however you need it. Okay, so I'm gonna do +2. Okay, and I'm gonna have a D. Okay, if you can play the actual key, you play the actual key. So I have this thing going. So I'm gonna come up with something. And also, okay, let me show you guys something. So say I wanted this thing to sound cool. Okay. So another thing I could do is I could actually come in the editor too and make it sound cool. So let me show you how you're gonna do that. Say I wanted it to sound something, cool. I just like the word cool. So let's see. So you see that. So this. So say I wanted to do something cool. So maybe I'll do like a trips. I hope you guys get the idea of what I'm doing here. Okay, so this was happening. You guys saw what I just did? So say I wanted to do that. See, I wanted to do that. Maybe I wanted to even add something here. I don't know. Let me see. Yeah, you guys see that? And then maybe I wanted to do the same thing here. And maybe I could just do that. Bring it here. And maybe have something similar. I'm not doing the right way, of course. I just want to do it quick. Okay, of course, it doesn't sound the way I want it to sound. So guess what I have to do? I have to really cut it, break it up, and make it sound the way I want it to sound like. Okay? Because I want it to sound like it's. So now, from what we did, we have edited to the extent that we have something that sounds a little different. Okay, you guys hear that? So now, say we wanted to do something cool. So maybe we want to come up with something. So maybe. Okay, so we're going to practice. Okay, let's practice. Something like that, right? So let's do that. Okay, you guys see that? So I'm not really making a rap beat, so don't think I'm making a rap beat. I'm being random here, okay? Very, very random. I'm not really making a rap beat. I just want you to get the basics of logic, okay? So say I like this, I wanted to add some pad. I don't really want to spend too much time, so I'm not really going to keep listening back and forth, okay? So maybe I want to add some pads. So I come in here, look for some nice pads that I like. Maybe I don't even know what I like, so we got to just mess with these. Let's see. let's figure the chords for that. So of course you gotta know a little bit of music, right? You can't just expect everything to be magical. Then you gotta use this section, loops. Okay, if you don't know how to play, your best friend is the loops. Go ahead and pick random stuff and have fun. But if you're a producer, you gotta know this stuff. So guess what? I'm playing the key of D, right? I picked a new instrument. I don't know how to play D. So guess what I gotta do? Transfer this on here. The way you do that is hold Option or Alt and then drag it over here. Or click it over, then hold Shift, then the plus sign will come. Okay? So there are two ways to go about with it, okay? So one way is hold Option or Alt and bring it over. You see, the plus is coming along. But if I don't and I just click it over, I just don't gotta drop it. Don't drop it yet and click it. You see, if you don't click it, the plus will not come, right? Then you can add it. So either way, click it before, click it after. It doesn't. Click it before, click it right on. It doesn't really matter. Okay. So I have that. So let's figure something out. So I'm just gonna do something. Like that. So you guys realize what I'm doing here? I'm just playing corresponding chords to the random thing I just did. Okay, so guys, we're being random. I'm not making a rap beat, not a trap beat, nothing like that. Okay, it might sound good to you, but trust me, I'm just being random. Okay, say I like that, right? Say I wanted to add some synthesizer. Okay, this, by the way, that is a synth, by the way. But what I mean by, okay, let me explain it this way. When I say synthesizer, I'm talking more like okay, let's just go to regular to arpeggiator. Okay, so you guys will understand this better. So say I wanted some synth basics. So here how this is gonna sound. So here. See that? So those are arpeggiators, okay? You guys got it? So basically I'm gonna come up with, I'm gonna check a few random ones out and we're gonna use something, okay? So let me check one I like. So let's check a few of them. Yeah, let me just use something like that. It's fine. So guess what? I gotta transfer the transposer on there, so I can have the key, right? So let's check it out. See, it doesn't sound as good, right? So it doesn't sound as good. So let's use one of these. Yeah, let's just use one of those simple ones. Okay. Realize I added an extra key in there just to, okay, so this is what we have with just that one. got it. See, I like it. I loop it out. Okay, this is basics, guys. This is not how you do it, but I just want to teach you basics. Okay. Okay, teaching you basics here. So, say I want to do something else. Okay, say I want to do a bass. Okay, so then I could actually come to my wherever you like your basses to be at. Okay, so maybe I want to use my synth basses. So maybe something like that. I don't know. So whichever sounds good to you, you use whatever sounds good to you. Okay, I don't want to spend much time here, so I'm just gonna just play something random. Okay, something very random. Okay. All right, what did we forget to do, guys? We forgot to transfer the transpose. Okay, that is because I'm transposing. But if you're not, of course, don't worry about it. Okay. So, let's see. Yeah, so we're going to do something like that. So you guys see how that worked? Alright, so I added like I added something like that in there, right? So, alright, so we have that. Okay, say that sounds good. Maybe I wanted to have a little bit more of a feel. So maybe I want to do another piano. Just say I want to do another piano on a different track. Okay, and I'm going to use the same piano. Okay, same piano. Just for the purpose of getting something in there. So maybe I want to do this by chords. Something like that, okay? So let's go. You guys see that? So maybe I wanted to add a bit of a feel, a bit of a feel, you guys get the idea. Alright, so now here's where it gets fun. So some of you guys like to be beautiful, right? You like to look pretty. So you right click on whatever track you want, go to name and color, and then click show colors. So basically you come in here, say you want this to be orange. You click it, make it orange. You click this, make it yellow. You like to be pretty, whatever, sure. Get pretty, get pretty, get pretty, get pretty, get pretty, get pretty. So that's how you do that stuff, okay? So you come in here, make your project look pretty, whatever you want to do. There's a lot more things you can do, but I'm not going to spend time trying to explain it. So if you want to look pretty, that's how you got to do it. Say you want to change the kind of kit. You come here, right click it. You see this icon stuff right here, right click it. Say this is a drum. I'm going to pick a drum machine. Bam, I got it. Say I want this to be a piano. Right click it. Right click, double click, it doesn't matter on Mac. Come on. Alright, so my trackpad is sometimes sensitive. So alright, so anyways, you guys get the point. Right, so it's came. So basically, keyboards, go there, pick whatever you want. If that's what you want, go. You guys get the point, all right? This is a bass. If I wanted to have an actual bass guitar, sure, come right here. I'm like, oh, I don't even know what the instrument that is. I want to have a bass. Get pretty, it's fine. All right. I don't have time for all this stuff, but sometimes I do. If that's what you want to do, great, go for it. So bass, and then maybe, oh, come on. All right, it's acting a bit too slow. I think it's because of the live streaming, the screen capture. All right, so if that's what you want to do, you got all that stuff in there. Okay, so that's kind of how you build up a project. Okay, of course you're gonna do your cuts. You're gonna remove what you don't want. You gotta do all that cool stuff. Okay, so this is kind of how we do a project. Okay, then of course you have your audio, and then you let your singer sing on it. So now let's talk a little bit about mixing. Like I said, this is just logic in a nutshell. Okay, so let's get straight to the point. So say I have this music here, of course. I don't want to keep hearing myself, so I'm going to create an audio track and just kind of because I got to kind of put my hand on my keyboard, so or my MIDI controller. So here, so say I want to start mixing, right? So this is how I do mixing. I zero out everything. Okay, I zero out everything. That's how I do mixing. Okay, the way I do mixing is also I zero out every single effect. I don't know how good you are with mixing. If you're not good, it's okay. But for me, I zero out zero effects. Okay, maybe you won't understand right now, but deep in mixing, you understand. See, I take it all off. I don't want any effects on there. Alright, and I don't want any buzz groups, buzz sense, nothing. Zero. That's all I want. Everything is zero. All these stuff you see are just the transposition keys and the level of whatever tone we are using. Okay, so at this point, if I play, I won't hear anything. Okay, I won't hear anything. Okay, I won't hear anything. Okay, that's fine. That's of course, if you're hearing something, it's because this is not zeroed out. Okay, that one was not zeroed out. Everything is zeroed out now. So now, say I want to start mixing. Okay, this is how you do mixing. Okay, so first things first, before you do mixing, bring out whatever instrument you want to mix. Of course, you're not going to mix the drums in one. Of course, you're going to do a multi, and then mix your snares, mix your shakers, mix all those individually. I don't have the time for that. I just want to kind of give you the basics. Okay, so I bring it up. So I bring up my. So I don't even really bring it up all the way. Just bring it up low enough. Okay. So as I bring it up, I bring it low enough. Now what I got to do is, I'm going to start with equalization. Okay. So the way you do equalization, you see the part that says EQ. Just double click it. Okay. And then basically just EQ it out. Of course, you're not going to do that to a group of instruments. Okay. Right. Okay, so because I don't want to do that because I didn't set it up that way. But if you wanted to EQ, of course, you're going to click your analyzer, see what ranges are high, wherever you want to cut this part out a little bit, maybe cut this section out a little bit, maybe cut the high end a little bit, mess with it, I don't have the time to do all that stuff. Okay, of course, your compressor, depending on what you use, you might have something different. Okay, so my compressor, so I'm going to let it play and do it, so that way you can hear the difference. Okay, so you might not hear my voice very good, so just kind of bear with me. Obviously, when it's playing, you guys realize that it's in red, right? That means it's clipping. So with a compressor, I got to stop it from clipping, right? So I'm going to clean that part out. You guys realize it's not clipping anymore, right? Of course, you're gonna do it based on this instrument, okay? I'm just kind of just giving you an idea right now, okay? Okay, of course, let's just say I wanted to add other effects. Of course, you gotta understand all these things. You gotta understand all these things. But I'm not gonna have the time to go through it all, so I'm just gonna put one effect on, just kind of give you an idea how mixing works. So this is how mixing is done, by the way. In case you don't know, we mixing. We basically mixing right now. So, say I wanted to add some bass to my drums. Of course, boost it up. Of course, you want to pay attention to the response time. You don't want it to kill it so much that it just gets stuck. You want it to be bouncing back and forth and staying within about the 6 to the 0 between, right about here, bouncing right in there. If you let it just get stuck, of course you're not mixing right. So you gotta understand the rules of mixing. Okay, all right. So say I like that, I'm cool with it, I'm good. So now I got that hand. All right, great. Let's go to our next instrument. Maybe I want the piano. Okay, I'm gonna speed up here because I don't have the time. So basically, I'm gonna do everything I did here with all the other ones. So just kind of watch me and see how I'd go about with that. Okay, and I'll do something quick, very simple. Okay, so this is not a real processing, like I said. It's just putting random things on it so you get an idea. Okay. Whenever you do compressions, just try and do your best to let it stay within 0 and 6. Okay, try not to let it exceed 6 so much. Okay, so that's some guidelines. All right, because the next instrument is the same, I'm just going to copy it over. be louder, right? Okay, so aside from the drums being louder, the other thing I gotta also do is try and get it panned right. So you guys, I don't understand what panning is. This is panning right here. Okay, so let's talk about what panning is. Panning is basically breaking up all the sounds so you get a clean signal. Okay, you don't want all the instruments going to the main, because then you really don't have a clean, clear sound. Okay, so for instance, let's use the pianos as an example. So the pianos sound like this right now. All centered. So maybe what I could do is maybe I could split it. That way it can sound more beautiful and cleaner. So the way I'll break it up is maybe I might just go like, let me go 30-30. Okay, so 30-30 will be something like this. Okay, so that one should be playing more to the left, and this one should be playing more to the right. Okay. So say I don't want that and I want 40, then go for it, 40. But again, you gotta use your ears here, okay? So here I'm being very random. Okay? Of course, when you mix in, you gotta use your ears for whatever music you're doing, right? But right now it's very simple, so we could just do anything random. Okay, so. So guess what? When we do that, we can't really hear the chords. So guess what we might have to do? We might have to just center that. Or maybe not go too deep, right? And maybe keep it at 17. So maybe the 20 will be fine. Yeah, so we're gonna do 20-20. Sure. Okay, so it's a little bit more broken up. Okay, but that's the whole point of mixing and the panning stage of mixing. Okay, so of course you don't want your pad to be overshadowing everything. You don't want it like that. Okay, you want it to be at the background. Okay, so that's why you gotta lower it. Of course, you have this instrument right here. So maybe you might need to bring that down a little bit, take it up a little bit. You might need to pan it. I don't know. You're gonna have to decide doing mixing. Okay, so we got our pannings done. I'm gonna just leave this right here at 40 for right now, and I'm gonna leave this centered for right now. Okay, so I'm gonna leave it at 30, and I'm gonna leave that one centered. Okay, so you gotta do all these, judgments yourself as a sound engineer, right? Or as a mixing engineer. So let's share what we have so far, just within a matter of few minutes, okay? So let's share what we got. Oh, here. So you realize there's an effect right here, okay? Remember we deleted those things, so just take that off. You didn't do that. Of course, if you want to do a bus send, you come to your send, go to your bus and send to 1, and then do your bus sends and so on, okay? That's if you want to do that, okay? All right. The other thing too, you can always right click and then change these colors if you are one of those that like to look pretty. So you can just say assign track color, okay? And then once you do that, just come here. And when you go to, where is this thing at? Right, so when you come here, no, anyways, some of you guys should already know how to do this anyways. Let me see, configure track header. No, that's not what I want. Okay, so it's all here. Oh, right. So here, so once you right click here and you come to name and color, right. So name. Let me see. No, that's not what I'm looking for. But anyways, if you understand what I'm trying to do here, basically you want to set this before you record, so that way your colors will your side colors will correspond to this. All right. So you guys should, let me see, show. Let me see, show. Right. Anyways, it's not important. Like I said, if you guys like are the guys that like to look beautiful, of course that's what you gotta do. Anyways, aside from that, all right, you have yourself the basics of logic. Okay. So I hope this helped you. All right. Just subscribe and ask me questions, and I'll be glad to answer you. All right. Until next time, you'll remain blessed. I go by Stein or KB. You can call me Stein or KB, and just ask me whatever questions you may have about logic, mixing, anything that you think I could help you with, from broadcasting to streaming to whatever. Just ask me, okay? I hope you guys enjoy this. We're gonna play it, and then I'll be out of your way. You all have a good one. And until next time, I'll try to come your way and give you some helpful tips here and there, whenever I get the time for it. Okay? You all have a good one. All right. Goodbye.